Hi everyone, welcome back. This is my final project for Kitaholic Kits for the month of August. I am doing another 12 by 12 layout, and I'm going to focus on this big circle that I just traced using a pot lid and this beautiful soft white background paper. Now I thought I might spice it up by taking some silver texture paste and stenciling it through a stencil that we got in a kit a while ago. And I love how this looks, but I wish I'd used a colored texture paste instead, because at some stage during this layout I felt there wasn't enough color. I did add some of the blue watercolor here as well, but I warn you, if you wanted to do this, I would seriously recommend putting some clear gesso on these pages instead, first of all, because they just suck in the color and it's very difficult to blend and not turn the paper into basically paper mache. It does look okay in the end because I've got that big pink paper to sort of cover it, but yeah, definitely try and gesso it beforehand. I did the same thing by using the watercolors by going around the outside of this big circle that I'd cut out. And again, this looked lovely, but I think it would have been good if I had gessoed this, because then the watercolors wouldn't have sucked so much into the paper, and then these sprays and drips that I would have done would have been much more visible, and they would have just not sucked immediately into the paper. In saying that, I really like how this turned out. I did struggle with this layout, I'll say, to the point where I was a bit salty about it at first. After I finished it, I didn't like it, and I do like it now, but I was sort of irritated by it. And you know how that happens. I was talking to some of the DT girls about this. You just get a bit irritated by a layout that you struggled with, because you're like, you could have been so much easier. But anyway, as you can see, my paper warped a lot as well. Hopefully over time it'll flatten out in my stash. So I stuck that down, and I'm just taking my little photo of my little girly, and I am going to map that on some white paper, or that creamy white star paper, and then also on the blue paper that we got in the kit. A lot of my layouts this month focused on the pinks and the blues, because I was just really feeling the pinks and the blues, and yeah, I'm not angry about it. So this is how I'm going to bring in more of that blue from the background. It does get lost a little bit, I'll be honest, but there wasn't really any more blue that I could have added. So I am adding a tiny little phrase sticker from the sticker sheet, and then I'm just going to glue this down, and I fight with my glue. And the funniest thing is, I was using the glue on this layout minutes before this, and I couldn't find my big glue anywhere. So I don't know where it's gone. Now my title is actually a bit of an interesting one. So that's just my baby dog, and I don't know if anyone has heard that song on Instagram Reels or on TikTok, but I cannot get it out of my head, and so I thought that is a really good title for this particular layout. And so I'm using some of the alphas we got in this month's kit and ones that we got a few months ago to spell out that title. Now, this is where I got a little stuck. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I added that little banner, and I added this little rainbow above the little phrase that I added. And then I was like wondering, how on earth am I going to finish this layout, because it felt very unfinished at this point, but I didn't know what else I wanted to add. So that rainbow felt too small, and then I found this bigger rainbow and I stuck that down, and that was much better. Now I'm just adding that third little rainbow, and following the rule of threes, I actually really enjoyed how that looked. Now, this layout still felt incomplete to me, and I think it's because there wasn't an anchoring color, sort of a darker color, to create enough contrast and to make it seem interesting enough. I hadn't figured that out yet, though, at this stage of the layout, so I thought I would add my little sprinkly bits, which I often do when I feel a layout is not complete, and it will make a layout feel complete for me. In this instance, it didn't, but I liked adding those stars, and I definitely think it adds to it. I love it. And then I realized maybe I need some black. So I'm drawing this little border around the bottom part of the circle, and it was still not enough. And then I realized there's this glaring pink space that is just open, and I am going to actually do my journaling in like a scripty writing underneath the white part of my title. And I love this. I really think it has brought the layout all together, and it finally felt complete. So it just added some journaling, and then I also went with that same pen just around the outside of the alpha to make it stand out a bit more. Now this layout is done. I'm adding a few sprinkly bits there, and I'm calling it finished. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you all next week. Bye.